Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Liftoff. I'm Jeanniey Walden, your host. Here on Liftoff, we're going to have fun with a purpose. We'll bring you resources to guide you towards financial freedom, betterment of your mental health, a healthier lifestyle, and something I like to call AIR. Overall, authentic, inspirational, and relatable content. Each guest and conversation we have is carefully designed to make every part of your life better. So if you need a lift in your professional or your personal life, you are in the right place. Let's start the show with one of my passions, women empowerment in business. CEO and founder of Hug, Randy Zuckerberg, joins us to share why now is the perfect time for women to pursue a digital career. Welcome to Liftoff, Randy.
Thank you. And happy Women's History Month, International Women's Day. We are just celebrating women today and excited. I feel really energized when I hear you talk about all of the opportunities there are for women to step up in tech industries.
Why do you think there's such a big divide when it comes to women in the digital workforce?
It's something that I've been struggling to understand for 20 years. Quite frankly, when I started my own career in tech and found myself the only woman in every room that I was in, it's gotten a little better, but still nowhere near where we need to be. I think the pandemic set us back, unfortunately, with a lot of women stepping out of the workforce. But there are some really exciting opportunities right now. Huge explosion in cutting edge industries around space, cybersecurity, artificial intelligence, blockchain, you name it. And those will provide countless opportunities for women to get in on the ground floor and not be left behind.
And what can we do to close this gap? What educational opportunities are available to women right now who are looking to get started or thinking about making a career change?
I love this question. First of all, we need to put the myth out of our head that you have to be a coder or an engineer to have a tech job. That is not true. You can have an incredibly meaningful career in tech without having any of those technical skill sets. I think it's very important to pursue lifelong education and upskilling. I'm delighted today to be teaming up with DeVry University. They have an incredible program, the Women in Tech Scholars Program, where women are surrounded by other women, mentors, professional experiences, credentials to kickstart a career in tech or up-level yourself in tech. And I would definitely say to surround yourself with a strong peer network is something that's incredibly important for women stepping into a male-dominated industry.
Who's hearing you and thinking about making a move into a digital career? What should they be considering?
Yes. Well, first of all, whatever your passion is, there's a tech career around that passion. So I definitely want to encourage women to not feel like they have to be working in traditional tech or be a coder. Whatever your passion is, there's a tech job out there for that. Second, education and upskilling is so important. The careers that will be hot a few years from now don't even exist yet today. So the best thing that you can do is just keep learning with programs like DeVry's Women in Tech Scholars program, even just reading podcasts. I try to spend time every day learning and growing.
Wow. Thanks so much, Randy, for the empowering information.
Likewise. Thank you.
Don't go away. We'll be right back with more after the break. Dr. Adam Rubinstein is an award-winning board-certified plastic surgeon, well regarded for his outstanding work and cutting-edge, non-invasive and surgical plastic surgery procedures for women and men. Dr. Rubinstein joins us now with tips and information to guide us and the public about the ever-growing topic of plastic surgery. Thanks so much for being on the show, Doctor.
It's my pleasure. Thanks a lot for having me.
So, Doctor, we can't scroll through social media without seeing the ubiquity that is plastic surgery today. Why do you think these procedures have become so popular?
Well, I suppose everybody wants to look and feel their best. And, with social media, it's become so mainstream. Everybody is talking about different procedures, what's hot, what's not. And also talking about things that have gone wrong and problems that people have had. So it's just become front and center. So everyone's aware of it. It's more accessible than ever before, and it's popular.
And it seems like no matter where you turn, you're seeing different types of stories, some positive, some negative. All plastic surgery and surgeons for that matter are not created equal. So tell me about your practice and your voice as a patient advocate.
I think it's important as a board certified plastic surgeon myself to be outspoken and trying to educate people because it's not easy to know what the best choice might be. It's not easy to know what is a real plastic surgeon, because especially now as we're talking with social media, everybody stands up and calls himself a cosmetic surgeon or even a plastic surgeon, and not everybody who takes these names is properly trained and board certified and really qualified to do this kind of stuff. It's one of the reasons we see so many problems in having certain procedures done. So my role, I think, besides just taking care of my patients, is to try and educate people in general. I think I'd like to see everyone have all the information they need to make their best choices. And that's one of the big things that I try and do. Real transparency in the world of plastic surgery.
And I don't want to scare everybody, but I know that some bad things can happen when you choose the wrong doctor or you choose the wrong facility to go to. What have you seen go wrong if you don't pay attention to these fundamentals?
Well, I've seen way too much, frankly. But I mean, the typical things are infections and bleeding, and I mean, all the way up to very serious things that can be life-threatening and cause death. We've seen that in South Florida. We have way too many of those popping up in the news. I was on the Lifetime show My Killer Body, hosted by Kay Michelle, and that whole show was dedicated to people that had really lousy outcomes and big problems that changed their life from cosmetic surgery. And I had the privilege to try and help a few of them and get them to a better place. I mean, it's such a big problem. We've got TV shows dedicated to it.
For those people that haven't visited your social media yet, tell us about those and what you set out to accomplish with them.
Well, with everything that I do, I'm trying to let people know the information they need to. Like interviews like this are great, getting the word out. And so thank you for that. Social media, like in my IG at Plastic Surgery Truths, or my main one at Dr. Rubinstein. A lot of times I try and do these things with a little bit of humor because I think it's more palatable. It's easy to kind of take in if we try and make something funny. And these are not very funny topics. I mean, it's serious stuff, but the way that we make fun of it, people get the idea. Things like there was drive-through Botox going on during the pandemic. I mean, really? I mean, I'm serious. This sounds like something that you'd see on a bad episode of a comedy,
Yeah, it really does.
Doesn't it? It raises the issue in a fun way, just to make people think and really understand, hey, this is not fluff. This is not, it's not just lipo. It's not just, a breast augmentation. These are important things. It's not all the same.
This was such a fascinating conversation. Thanks so much for being on the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I hope someone's learned something.
Well, stay with us, because if you loved this segment, you're going to love what's up next. We'll be right back. Our next guest is author Amy LaBelle, an award-winning winemaker, entrepreneur, and author of Wine Weddings, the ultimate guide to crafting the wine-themed wedding of your dreams. So she's here today to join us and share information on why 2023 has been declared the year of wine weddings. Amy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm thrilled to be here.
Exciting times. And I am super intrigued with year 2023 being the year of wine wedding. So why is that? What does that mean?
Well, I'm a winemaker by craft, by trade. That's what I do. But I also love to host events, and especially weddings. And at my two wineries, we host over 100 events a year. And we've hosted at this point over the last decade about 1,000 weddings. And what I was seeing was a theme emerging. I see couples constantly stressed, overwhelmed, really burdened, really freaked out about their upcoming big day, instead of just enjoying it. And so I wanted to write a book to kind of guide them, with all of the experience me and my team have. We've done so much of this. It's so enjoyable to us. And I said, gosh, this has got to be easier. I've got to make this easier for these poor couples. So we wrote a guide to helping folks plan a wedding through the lens of wine and wine being the central core theme of the wedding.
What's unique about what you do? I mean, you're one of the first women winemakers, and I know it's a small percentage. Why do
Yes.
you love what you do so much?
Oh gosh, I love making wine. It's such a creative field where you can really make a difference and really make an impression. And many of our events are focused on educational things, so you can come to the winery and learn if you want to, and let folks know, especially in New England, which is not kind of a normal place to have a winery, right?
Right.
I especially wanted to break open that market in New England and get folks on board with great food, great wine, and great learning opportunities.
Such a fabulous idea. And what are some of the tips that you've learned about creating the best wine wedding, the best wine related event?
Whether it's a wedding or whether it's just a party, a dinner party you want to throw at home. So my idea, of course, is to theme it in the lens of wine, and I think that's a great choice for us. But any theme will do this for you. It will help you focus your decision making and help you have less choices. Sometimes less choices is good, and that's what's going to actually make things a little streamlined and a little easier for you. And in the case of wine weddings, you simply take your wedding and say, okay, I want to have a wine themed wedding. And that goes from everything from your venue choices, perhaps, to your color schemes. You know, think of gorgeous color of Chardonnay and the gorgeous color of grape leaves. Perhaps that's the theme you want to lean into. To your decor. So maybe some cork accents, cork boutonnieres for the gentlemen, cork decor ideas for the ladies.
What a fun conversation. You know what would be even better right now to end this conversation? A taste of this amazing wine.
Let's have some, yes. I'll pour you a little bit of white.
Perfect.
This is our Céval Blanc. A fun fact is that you can grow grapes in New Hampshire, even though it's a little bit cold in the winter. This is Céval Blanc. It is good to, sometimes in my vineyard, we get down to negative 18 degrees. And so it'll survive that. And since we're going to drink it out of your Jeanniey coffee mugs, cheers.
Cheers. I'll drink to that. All right, Amy, thanks so much for being on the show. This is
Thank
so
you
much
for having me.
fun. It's so good. It's so good. It's so
great.
good. Everyone should have this. After the break, we're going to take this wine and we're going to keep chatting about more supporting of small businesses like Amy's and boosting our communication strategies. So stay with us. Welcome back to Liftoff. Our next guest, Allan Levy, is a serial entrepreneur who believes in building and supporting businesses that improve the way people communicate. Allan's also the CEO of an incredibly powerful and awesome company called Alchemy Worx. They're an agency of experts in engagement who deliver efficient, data-driven CRM support for both email and SMS. And if you are a small business owner or a large business owner, you probably need their help or at least some of their tips today. So we're going to get that. Allan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Great to be here, Jeannie, and I appreciate this conversation.
Absolutely, Allan. So as businesses and consumers are both struggling to keep up with rising prices, changes in the market, tell me, from all of your expertise and advice, what's the most powerful way that people have to communicate today? How can they take advantage of a communication path to make the most of these crazy times?
So in today's times, your existing customers are your best form of revenue. It's getting more and more expensive to acquire new customers. So email, which is your most efficient channel to communicate and have a conversation with your existing customers, and SMS has come into the marketplace as even to augment that and add to it. And being good and efficient about those two channels can really bring a lot of money to your bottom line.
So you are suggesting that businesses can improve their results if they have better engagement with their customers. And I'm sure in many cases, customers would love that. But for the average customer, what's the benefit for them? They're not receiving 1,000 messages a day and being happy about it, but I feel like you have a secret about messages that they do receive.
There is. So for every business or every industry to survive, there has to be a dual benefit, right? There has to be a benefit to the business, but there has to be a benefit to the people who are using that, the recipient of email. And how often have you gone and just remembered that you need something and you quickly just do a search of your inbox, and there it is, an email from 3 or 4 days ago with a discount, a promotion, with the product that you need. So if you didn't have that email in your inbox, you may not be able to get access to that pricing on that product.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And actually, I just did that last week for someone's birthday. I was just like, oh my gosh, I need to order them flowers. I know 1-800-Flowers sent me a coupon, and I went back to my inbox. So the power of search of email, right?
It's amazing. It's really amazing.
And it's something that's so consistent and simple for businesses to take advantage of. And you've been doing this a long time, 20 years. Your company has helped other companies maximize their revenue potential, engage with customers, improve that audience engagement. But how are you adapting to all the new technology out there? ChatGPT is like the hottest conversation right now, especially when it comes to subject line writing and other email copywriting. What's your company doing to take advantage of that?
So first, yes, we do. We have over 120 active brands that we work with today, and it's multiple historically. We are jumping into ChatGPT. We think it's phenomenal. We've integrated it into our proprietary tool, Subject Line Pro, that ranks subject lines. And now you can get your suggestions from Subject Line Pro through ChatGPT. And so we're embracing new technology. We're even looking at ChatGPT to do some of our analytics work on the back end, write code. Yes, we jump in, feet forward to every new technology.
That's great. It's great to know people can rely on an agency like yours to help them. But I have a question. Last question for you. SMS or email? Which one is the winner in the battle of communication?
Great question. 1 + 1 = 3. So there is a be smart, right? So the real key to why companies hire us is so that they can be smarter about what they're doing. Typically, companies generate 70, 80, or 100% more revenue when they hire us because we find the opportunity. When should we be talking to you with SMS? When should we be talking to you with email? When should we pull back? When should we engage more? And most importantly, what messages should we speak to you about versus your husband, your family? Everybody should be getting a different message from a company that resonates with them.
Thanks so much, Allan, for being on the show.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Great. When we come back, we put our best face forward inside and out. Wondering what I mean? Don't go away. Welcome back. Maureen Brody is the co-owner of Legend of the Spa. Maureen and her sister's natural body care product line is dedicated to their father, who taught them the legendary healing aspects of nature learned from the farmer lifestyle. They combine this with result-oriented, advanced technology of a modern individual, and I can't wait to tell you more about it because Maureen also does makeup on the set, so I look beautiful because of her. Welcome to the show, Maureen.
Thank you, and I'm so excited to be here and to be on camera.
I know, you're usually behind the scenes and running around with brushes. This is amazing. But your product line is so incredible. I wanted everybody to hear about it. So I know a bit of your backstory and why you created this line, but I think our viewers would really appreciate understanding your philosophy on skincare, what inspired you to create this line, and why truly detoxifying our routines is so beneficial.
Absolutely. So I come from a day spa and wellness center along with my business partners, and we specialize in natural skincare. So in 2018, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and going through that process, actually detoxified my whole lifestyle. So that came through as far as food that I was eating or products using to clean my home, everything like that. And I think the part that most people, when they're detoxifying their lifestyle, tend to forget about the skincare. And your skin is the largest organ on your body. So you're absorbing everything into your body that you put on your skin. So when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, going through radiation, you need to constantly hydrate your skin. So the doctors were recommending products that actually contained many chemicals. And having the knowledge of skincare through my background of over 20 years, I couldn't wrap my head around putting toxic chemicals on my body while going through that process and that treatment. And I did what any true entrepreneur does, is develop their own cream. So that is the Pink Lotus Radiation Recovery Cream that I developed for myself through that process. And it ended up being the only product that actually soothed my skin during that time. And not only in the treated area, but actually all over my body.
That's so awesome. It's
Thank
Really
you.
fascinating to hear your story and understand a bit of your background. And I know what many people might not know yet is that in addition to these products, you're also responsible for making all of us look amazing on camera,
Yes.
including all of our guests and myself. And the part of that is practicing mindfulness, which we go through when we get on set each day. So, how do you bring mindfulness into your skincare routine?
Yes, so often we hear that people do not incorporate mindfulness because of a lack of time. So I thought it was a cool idea to incorporate it into your skincare, and we developed a skincare meditation. And it works something like this. So, in the beginning of the day, you cleanse your skin and you cleanse off any worries that you may have, anything, any thoughts in your mind that do not serve you. And then, so you do that with your cleanser. And then as you spray your toner, which is the next best step in skincare, you can actually set an intention for the day or step into joy if you want to feel more joy through the day, whatever it is that you're looking for in your life. And then as you set your moisturizer, you can help to visualize that intention. So you can incorporate that into your skincare routine. It saves time. And the aromatherapy actually helps you to breathe deeper and to slow down the mind.
I am obsessed with everything that you're doing. Thank you so much for being
Thank
on
you.
the show today. This has
Thank you
been
for having me.
fantastic. April is Autism Awareness Month, and if you or someone you know is struggling with autism support, you're not going to want to miss our next guest. Karen Thomas is coming on, so don't go away. Karen Thomas is a resource for families who may be overwhelmed after an autism diagnosis and looking for assistance. She was a guest on our podcast, Liftoff Journeys, a few weeks ago, and the response was so powerful that we couldn't help but invite her to be a guest on today's show, especially because it's Autism Awareness Month. Karen joins us now to discuss her program and help for those touched by autism in their daily lives. Welcome to Liftoff, Karen.
Hi, Jeannie. Thank you so much. I appreciate being here. I love the value I have to share, so it's great that we can reach more people with it.
Absolutely. So, Karen, let's tell the viewers, how did you learn that it was possible to actually recover from the symptoms of autism? What inspired you to do your own research?
Right. Well, most people here have never heard that before, or they don't believe it's true. But when my son was diagnosed with autism 17 years ago now, I was told to drug him and try behavioral therapies, and that there was really nothing else that we could do for him. And, basically good luck, just manage his symptoms the rest of his life. But he was really uncomfortable. His anxiousness, sensory overload, inability to sleep without issues, health issues. I mean, the list goes on. And I thought, I've got to figure out a way to find out what the causes are, not just mask symptoms. And I wanted to be able to work with his body and get him to just live a happier, a healthier, a more fulfilling life. And my background, fortunately, as a craniosacral therapist studying the brain, let me know that the brain can and does heal, but I didn't know that much about autism specifically. So my holistic background had me dive in quickly to anything natural, all the resources, how we could work with the causes, what might be going on. And this took me a decade of trial and error and implementation. But today, my son's symptoms of autism are gone. And so I thought, after all of this, I've got to be able to share this with other people. Because now he's a college graduate living independently on his own with friends. His life is much different today than it would have been had I not done the work that I did for him.
You realized that so many other parents were just searching for a way. They were going through the same challenges that you had, and they were looking for any type of support. I know that's true with family members that I have who have children with autism. Tell us more about your desire to give a bigger impact and access to everybody out there that knows somebody or is afflicted with autism.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really, as I just mentioned, once I saw the success I had for my own son, and people started approaching me on the schoolyard, asking me for information for their own children because they had seen how much my son had changed. And I thought, there is no way I can't share all that I've learned. And because it took so much of my own time and expense that I'd already expended, and now I had the clear path, because a lot of parents have that commitment, but they are jumping around from practitioner to practitioner and supplement to supplement, and they are struggling and searching for the resources but don't have a plan. And so, knowing the challenges, I decided that I had to create a unique program, which I have done, to walk parents through the steps in a sequential order, because that's very important also, and step by step. And it had to be A to Z and complete, because so many programs out there, things are incomplete. They're just a little bit of diet and detoxification, or they're jump around. They really don't have a plan to follow, and it's usually not a thorough plan. So they fall short of results, and their child plateaus on the autism recovery process. So whether you've been on the journey for a really long time and have plateaued, or you're brand new to the journey, then I can help, definitely.
It's so great. And you mentioned that there are steps and stages, and they have to be done in a certain order. Can you share some of the necessary stages for natural autism recovery and the optimum results?
Absolutely. I mean, without a plan or a blueprint, you're just jumping around, and you definitely do fall short of those results. So what I call it is the 4-stage process, because first you've got to do everything to heal the gut. The gut controls the brain, and there's a lot more to this, and diet is a huge, huge piece of it. And I do have a resource I can share for that, but diet is a huge piece of it, but it's not everything. And that's what parents think often, is that diet is all they really need to do. But you've got to support detox pathways and get the diet going, the right one. And then natural and safe heavy metal detoxification is second. And then the third are clearing the co-infections of autism that actually mimic many of the symptoms of autism that are used in the Diagnostic Statistical Manual to diagnose. Things like mold biotoxins, Lyme disease, parasite infections, and something called PANS, that's an autoimmune issue that actually attacks the brain. So these are all factors. And then once you've cleared all of the inflammation and the toxins and pathogens from the body, then the fourth is brain support and repair. Some natural things that you can do to help support where your child is at that point, because who they are today and who they'll be at that point is very, very different. So if you're spending money on therapies, et cetera, now, I would say do a lot of this work first, because you're going to get much more out of it once your child has gone through this and they don't have the inflammation and the toxic overload that on their brain that is preventing them from doing the things that they normally would be capable of doing, because these children are brilliant and they need to be able to share these gifts with the world, and they want to. And so this enables them to do that.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Karen. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for all the dedication and work that you've done to find a natural cure for autism. And congratulations on all of it. I hope every parent that has a child afflicted with autism, or anybody that knows somebody that's afflicted with autism, will go to your website and look at the resources.
Yes. Thank you so much, Jeannie. I appreciate it.
Now, so incredible, Cinnaholic Metuchen came back to the show, and they brought us a Cinna cake, which they know is my favorite, and the baby buns, which they know is the crew's favorite behind the scenes. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Cinnaholic Metuchen, for filling our sweet tooth once again. Stay tuned for future episodes and follow us on social media at Liftoff with Jeannie. Thanks so much, and until next time, I'm Jeanniey Walden.
The proceeding was sponsored by Liftoff Enterprises, LLC.